Opening bell crypto. Hope you all having a good day. Things are definitely a lot better than they were a few days ago. Gonna pull up here and make sure we're working good live here on X for starters. The system. Having a good day. Yep. Things are definitely. Looks like we can see us over there. I'll hit a little GM chat here in the chat. Good stuff. Yeah. And it looks like maybe they're saving my shows as well. If not, I download them again. But anyway, let me take a quick peek over on YouTube, make sure everything's working over there, and we'll get this party started. Yeah, I'd like to come as close to the top of the hour, beginning of the hour as I can, but I also do a little kind of recap for TikTok over there, and sometimes gets me a little behind. Okay, looks like we're live there as well. So, yeah, well, today the title is the manipulation over? Obviously, let's take a quick look. We're 8 minutes. It opens. Goochmaster. Oh, coming to me. Goochmaster's coming to me from my YouTube. So morning. Good to have it. I see quite a few people joining us on X. So welcome. Definitely under a little better circumstances than we've been having. Bitcoin 67,903, up 2% for the day. Got as high as 69.4. So literally like 1,500 higher than this. I'll take it, man. Ethereum, crap, man. Ethereum, all the way down to close to 1,800 a couple of days ago. It's up at 2,065. Love to see it hold and love to see it hold over the 2,000 range, right? Up 4.6%. Like I say, it was even a little higher than this. XRP, man, up 1.1% to 143.80. So that's nice. Yep. I see Axiom news. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't see that. I heard that there was going to be some news. Everyone was guessing it was going to be Axiom. I have not seen that yet today. So insider trading. Yeah. Who's the guy? XBT, the research guy, was supposed, and everyone I saw that the poly markets said it was going to be on Axiom. So I'm not up to date on it though, but we'll talk about it later or tomorrow. But yeah, Solana, man. Solana was up at 1.14% yesterday, got all the way to almost $91. And now it's sitting at 87.67. I'll take that. And yeah, Coachmaster, appreciate you over there on YouTube. Yeah, I'm pretty new to YouTube. They shut down 3 of my videos, and I took a screenshot of a video of the Olympics. So they're pretty touchy over there, man. And I don't know how to edit them out. So, but let's take a look at the futures, see how they're looking. Looks like they're pretty flat and maybe a little bit green. Let's see. NASDAQ, if I'm reading it right, looks about flat. 0.0 to negative. I call that flat. Dow is looking like it's going to open up in the positive. Looks like, yeah, about positive a quarter. And the S&P just a little above even as well. Looks like it's going to open up 0.07. So futures not bad. Huge day yesterday, obviously, with the blowout earnings from NVIDIA, which, man, they and take names, right? Yeah, up 0.7. So we'll see here in 5 minutes where we actually open. But let's talk a little bit about the news. By the way, if you're just joining us, NVIDIA was the big news yesterday. Man, revenues $68.1 billion. So it was plus 73% year over year. Absolutely incredible. And the expected was 66.2. So they blew out expectations. They blew out projections. Earnings per share came in at $1.62 versus $1.53 expected. The data center was 62.3 billion plus 75. Net income of $43 billion plus 94 year over year. So wow. So that was definitely, the second the market closed, they reported. Of course, we started to recover the night before, and I said yesterday, I think people are expecting blowout earnings. So NVIDIA, man, shout out to Jensen Huang, man, does never, man. That guy's freaking incredible, man. Absolutely incredible what they're doing. And obviously the AI and their chips is pushing it. Obviously, there's a big deal announced yesterday between AMD and Meta as well. So good time to be in the chip business, man. Question on my title is manipulation over? Look, I've said it once. I said 1,000 times on this show and also our GM Bitcoin morning show. I've been here for 15 years. I know market manipulation when I see it. And it was just we had that 10 a.m. dump. It was just too easily to see that it was just pure market manipulation. That's why I've said it's so important that we pass this Clarity Act, right? But, I don't necessarily believe it's just Jane Street, to be honest with you, but to kind of backtrack for those that aren't up to date on the story, a couple of days ago, the trustees or Terra Luna, who famously was taken down, their stable coin and basically completely bankrupted, taken to zero by market manipulation. Now, my thesis was then, and it continues to be, that the Biden administration knew it was, and they were encouraging it, as were the big banks. They were really at that time trying to deal a death blow to crypto, and that was one way to do it. Let's expose this. Let's take these guys down. But anyway, Jane Street, a huge firm out there, trading firm, market maker. They got sued, and then immediately, 2 days ago to be exact, today will be the third day if it happens. No 10 a.m. American drop, which was becoming it was beyond a joke. It was every day. And then you'd see the market pump a couple thousand, liquidate everyone. You see the market dump. Didn't matter if you were long or short, you were getting massacred out here, right? And also Jane Street, a couple fishy things happened yesterday. They deleted a lot of their tweets, and this also I saw there'd been some serious actions taken against them by India. The country of India had frozen a bunch of their assets and stuff over there, alleging this. But anyway, it says they were making $80 million a day on this market manipulation. And I told people, do not trade leverage, especially if you don't know what you're doing. You're better off just doing spot. You really are. Be comfy in spot, man. It's like playing Russian roulette normally Russian roulette, you got 6 chambers. You put one bullet in there and spin it. This is like playing Russian roulette with like one empty chamber or maybe no empty chambers. It was just too crazy. So anyway, this is interesting. I also saw that maybe the SEC or someone is also investing. There's some looking at them as well. So this stuff has to stop. But what was crazy is, Terra Luna, a huge investor, was Galaxy Digital, so a huge liquidity provider, huge player out there as well. So everyone's blaming it on CZ, right? That's been the narrative, and he's probably doing the same thing. And it's probably a group of these people, to be honest with you. But for whatever reason, they seem to be running scared. It seemed to be kicked off by this Jane Street lawsuit with Terra Luna. So, man, I say Good. Let's hope this stands, and then maybe we bottom, maybe we've seen the bottom, maybe we haven't. Nobody knows. In case you're new out there and you're wondering, nobody knows. We all just know probability. I mean, there's signs, we evaluate it, but literally 2 days ago, there was literally we were searching for a short term narrative. Seem to have found it. And also the Clarity Act, we'll be reporting on that. That's the next big thing. And the Iran, there's some stuff out there, but we'll talk about it all today. Definitely a better day than it was early in the week. I want to mention this. You guys know I do a lot of my shows because I have my big screens in my my offices that makes it a little easier, right, to see everything. But bottom line is the Starlink now, I paid $500 for mine, $499, whatever. It's now $199 at most retailers. It's the size. You see how small it is? It's like the size of a laptop, and you can use it anywhere in the world. It's like having cable. Anyway, it's $199, so that's 67% less than I paid. But I'll tell you what, I'd have paid $5,000 for mine and been happy. I couldn't wait, and I use it every day. I think I used it 4 or 5 times yesterday as I'm trading. I do some grid bots on BitUnex. I've been talking about that. Made almost 1% yesterday on my portfolio. Never deployed more than about 20% of it. So anyway, I am going to do some content on how to do grid bots. I think it's a great way, especially if you don't use leverage. It's a great way to kind of like the difference between trying to shoot a bird with a BB gun or try to shoot him with a shotgun. It's just a lot easier. You don't have to be quite as good, quite as precise. But anyway, I'm a big fan of the Starlink, man. One of the best things ever invented. You literally can go anywhere in the world now. My wife and I were looking. We've been over to Namibia. We go to Africa every year. We go to Namibia, but normally we just stay at like places. We don't just get one of the Jeeps and drive around. Jeeps with the tent on top, drive around. We're looking to do that maybe next year. Namibia is an awesome country, man. So we're watching, doing some research on that. But anywhere we can go, you can live stream. It's just so awesome to have, man. For a digital nomad, you have no limitations now. So shout out to that. Hit a couple more news stories, and we'll check and see how the market's doing. It's been open for 3 minutes now. This was a crazy story. UK and man, the UK has been just making blunder after blunder, in the the EU over there. Man, they've just been making all the wrong moves when it comes to crypto, from Germany dumping to that crazy law in the Netherlands where they want to tax unrealized gains at like 33% a year. Anyway, just out now, UK investors will be unable to buy crypto in their ISAs from April after HMRC reclassified crypto. Basically, they make it to where you can no longer this ISA, I don't fully understand it. I would say it's like a 401k, but you don't have to wait till it's kind of like a tax-free savings deferred, and you can do so much in that. And anyway, they're trying to protect the old guard, and they now made it to where you can't put Bitcoin and Ethereum and anything like that in it. So stupid move after stupid move, man. People are just, thing is about being in Europe, unlike America, where you have, all you have to do if you're in the EU is go somewhere else, and you can go to Dubai and you can go anywhere and you just start paying the new taxes. You don't have to pay tax where you came from. So they're going to just have an exodus of people. Just so stupid. Money goes where it's treated best. Just want to say this from yesterday. ETFs yesterday bought $506.6 million worth of Bitcoin in one day. So fast. I just want, especially if you're new here. I've been here for 15 years. I've seen it all. I've seen we if you've been here at all, there's $10,000 up and down days. So you don't get so freaked out. You don't get so scared. I mean, I just want everyone to realize it can pop back fast. The narrative can change, can literally turn on a dime. But yesterday, biggest inflow in months, but $506.6 million worth of Bitcoin got bought by the ETFs yesterday. So, Yeah, and if we can get rid of this manipulation and targeted dumping and pumping, then things can be a lot better. But let's go take a look and see how the markets are looking here. How the futures were looking decent. Let's see how the market has opened. And you know that it's crazy the whole first hour. This can you can go from red to green to red to green. I mean, it's minute here, but like I say, I keep saying I'm going to find a new website because their website is so slow. Definitely need to do that, but haven't done it yet. So you know what? Oh, here we go. You know what? I'm just going to refresh the whole page. I'm not going to pull up each chart individually. We'll just refresh the whole page and see what it looks like. Okay, it looks like the NASDAQ is down 0.68, so down 3/4 of a point. The Dow is up 0.65, and the S&P slightly down at 0.17. So yeah, NASDAQ took a hit. Looks like it was even, and it's not. Down 3/4 of a point. Let's see how Bitcoin's taking the news. Okay, Bitcoin 87. No, sorry, that's not Bitcoin. That's Solana. We'll check this out and then we'll come back here. But GM to everyone out there. I see a bunch of people watching on X. Hopefully it's going to save this. It did yesterday. If not, I will upload it so other people can watch it later if you're not able to join us live. But appreciate those that are here live. Okay, we're back. We've got 68,015. See how it's reacted. Just yeah. So a little bit of a pump. Open market open, a little bit of a dump. Not bad. Holding 68. That'd be nice if we can hold 68. I'd be happy with that. See how Ethereum's doing. Up 5.1%. Yeah. 2065 had a little spiked. So that I'm looking at the hourly chart right now. This is the daily chart. Just looking at the hourly to see how it's affected by the opening. XRP. $1.43.9. 1.6 for the day. And not bad. No, not crazily affected by the NASDAQ yet. B 584 up 2% almost for the day. Solana 87.5 touched up to 88, not bad. See what the high was yesterday. We got I forgot, 90, almost $91. So yeah, not too bad. We'll come back at the end of the show, but let's get back to some of the news that's driving the market. UK being dummies again. From our guy Quentin over there, 048.E, 048.ETH. The lowest RSI in the history on the weekly chart. Okay, on the weekly chart. I was looking at the monthly chart earlier. Very similar. The RSI was very similar to where it has been on the last three bottoms. I'm not saying we're definitively at a bottom, but I do believe we're close to a bottom, and we may have already seen the bottom. If that Clarity Act gets passed, we'll have some news on that. If that gets passed in the next week or so, few days, I believe that could be the catalyst. We may have put in a bottom. But when you look, the relative strength index basically shows if you're oversold or undersold. And on the weekly, we're showing the most oversold Bitcoin's been in history on the weekly. So lower than the 2018 and 2022 bear markets. So we might have seen the bottom. We don't know, right? We're here every day talking about it, analyzing it, but we may have put in a bottom. Let's hope so. This is, I think, the biggest news of the day. Citibank, $2.5 trillion Citibank has just announced that it will offer Bitcoin services in 2026. To me, that's huge. Not only Wall Street, but now the banks. And Citibank is absolutely massive. It's especially when you're talking retail. So welcome everyone. See everyone, all fam over there on Twitter. See a few people also on joining us on YouTube. I don't even know if I have any followers on Rumble, but I tread there anyway. And soon I will be doing, soon I'm almost have enough followers where I've only been on TikTok for 2 weeks, but I'm going to stream over there. I do a little market recap. I do a little 10-minute where I just kind of machine gun through this news right before I do this show. But anyway, Citibank is huge. Man, the banks, this is just huge for retail adoption. Those of you that have known me for a while know that myself and the fund that I run, we're big investors in CoinZoom. And CoinZoom, over the last few years, we've talked to a lot of banks about potential partnerships, and we looked at a lot of research, and 80-90% of people would feel comfortable buying crypto if they could do it through their bank. Because even though we hate banks here on the show, at least I personally do. I don't know if you guys do, but I hate banks personally. I'd just as soon see them going away, and I do not even have a U.S. bank account. But nonetheless, people trust them, and it helps with adoption, especially with the normal people out there. This was interesting. Google searches for how to buy Bitcoin are now at a 5-year high. I thought that was very interesting, right? I also saw recently, Bitcoin going to zero, we're spiking there, right? And now we see that how to buy Bitcoin. Now, whether that's because people are saying buy the dip or whatever, for whatever reason, and to me, that's a good sign. That's a sign that people are at the minimum. Let's just say it how it is. At the minimum, people are paying attention. Absolutely, people are paying attention out there. So that's good. And we can see it can literally turn on a dime. Boom. 2-3 days ago, we were scrambling. I was really looking, and I even said, I do not see a short-term, other than the Clarity Act passing, I do not see a short-term solution, but boom, here things turned around. So we'll see where we're at. We'll see if we keep going. On the upside, I'm looking for 70,000. I'm looking to break above 70, and then 72, 74 are key resistance levels. I think it was the previous year high. Also, I know there was a big Fibonacci retracement level there that we fell back through. Of course, then we shoot up towards that 50-week moving average, get out of this bear trend. But on the downside, I'm still looking at 58.5, 58.3 for the 200-week moving average. That hasn't changed. So far, we've dipped twice, once to 60, a couple of days ago to 62. We still remained well above that 200-week moving average. So is the bottom in? Is the manipulation over? That's the question we're trying to answer here. One shoe that we have to drop and we have to be aware of, especially for us in crypto, because we know Trump loves to drop bombs, loves to do shit after the market closes, and we as Bitcoin and crypto holders become the whipping boy for that, right? So we have to keep an eye on this. We've talked about it earlier today. The U.S. nuclear Iran talks in Geneva ended after 3 hours. Though since that, right before the show, right before I came on air here, I saw that there was a plan to reconvene in a couple hours. So they're not over. They didn't walk away. Hopefully they can get this resolved. There has been some news saying that Iran's saying they're not going to make nuclear bombs, whatever. Polymarket yesterday showed a 70% chance that we would strike Iran. So right now, let's get this solved diplomatically, right? Man, I'll tell you, in the 70s, Iran was like Dubai is today, man. It's crazy. This guy needs to go. I'd love to see, Anyway, at least a minimum, they can't be making nuclear bombs and killing tens of thousands of their people. The people there do not like the leaders, But I don't know how many tens of thousands got killed in these latest riots. But anyway, let's hope for a diplomatic solution here. Fear and greed. This is interesting to me. Fear and greed is back down to 8. We hit 5 the other day, which we've only done a handful of times in history. Then we hit 8, then 11. And why we're back down to 8, I don't know. But I guess it just shows there is still uncertainty out there. When there's uncertainty out there, you know, people are afraid. I love buying fear. What's the famous quote? Warren Buffett: be fearful when others are greedy, and be greedy when others are fearful. Well, others are fearful. To me, there's never been a better time to be buying Bitcoin and stuff. Even if we haven't seen the bottom yet, Bitcoin is not going to zero. It's going to $1 million, right? It's going to $1 million. So there's never been a time to buy Bitcoin. There's never been a better time to buy XRP, Solana, Ethereum, Chainlink, whatever quality product, quality projects that aren't going away, that are building, better time to buy them. So I love fear and greed is my favorite. Try it sometime if you do charting and lay over the fear and greed over the Bitcoin chart. You will find that historically it's always a good idea. Not financial advice, obviously. Everyone has to do your own research, but I love buying fear. Morgan Stanley plans to be the first large U.S. bank to offer Bitcoin trading, lending, yield, and custody as early as this year. So we have both Citibank and Morgan Stanley, two massive behemoth banks, not just brokerage firms, not just Wall Street people, literal banks jumping on the Bitcoin standard. So, yeah. Man, back in the day, we dreamt of stuff like this happening. We dreamt of things like this happening. Guys, I always say be careful with leverage. Unless you really know what you're doing, just stay comfy in spot, man. And over half a billion shorts got liquidated yesterday when we had that pump. $500 million, right? So don't let that be you, right? I don't know, man. I don't get the leverage thing. I know it seems like easy money, but it's not. So unless you really dedicate yourself to studying it and really know how to do risk management, man, stay away from it. That's my 2 cents. So there was a big well, I guess I don't know. I don't know if she was at that big conference. There's a big conference yesterday, but anyway, Kathy Woods, $7 billion ARK investment CEO, Kathy Woods, she said her conviction in Bitcoin is only increasing and has never been higher. And I second that. I feel the exact same way. It is the new monetary system. Her bull case remains 1.5 million. Right now, I think that's by 2030 or something like that, which coincidentally, I asked Grok, where do you think Bitcoin will be in 2030? And Grok came back with $1.4 million. My target is $1 million before the end of 30. So, and it can happen just with supply shock and all, and continuing adoption. And there's still so little. I talk every day when a state talks about it. I talk when a state, I think there's only 2 states that have actually bought. And there's a few more states close, and there's about 20 some odd states, a couple of dozen states that are working on it. But man, there's all these states, there's all these countries, there's all these funds, there's all these family offices, there's all these sovereign wealth funds still need to buy, and not to mention hundreds of thousands of companies. And then the allocation is going to start small, 1 to 5%, but then it'll eventually go to 10%, 15%, 20%. We're early, man. I don't care how you feel. I don't care how late you feel. You're early, and it's a blessing to buy discounted Bitcoin. Don't know how long it's going to last. Circle, we talked about Circle yesterday. I guess they're looking at buying PayPal. There's a rumor. We'll see. But Circle, one of the largest um, merchant companies out there. Oh no, this isn't Circle. Sorry, that's coming later. Sorry, that's Stripe. Sorry, Circle. Circle, of course, the issuer of USDC, right, which is a $35 billion stablecoin, right? And they said now I realize they're running a stablecoin. They said that Bitcoin is digital store of value. And their CEO's personally long BTC. So even though they run a stablecoin and stablecoin is huge, he's still bullish on Bitcoin. So, and there's a big conference going on this weekend. And Michael Saylor was there. It's called the Strategy World, right? A lot of the banks and stuff are there presenting and whatnot. And billionaire Michael Saylor just pledged live there that he will never sell Bitcoin, right? We're in the business of not selling. Now, they're a company. Don't I take that with a grain of salt, right? They don't want to sell Bitcoin. They've structured it so they don't want to sell Bitcoin, but I don't take that as they'll never sell Bitcoin, but their model is Bitcoin. And I believe that Michael Saylor personally will never sell his Bitcoin, right? He's even said when he dies, whatever, he's taking his Bitcoin with him, right? He's just going to burn the keys or whatever. So basically, once again, though, people keep talking about his demise and here's where he's going. He's going to get bankrupt and he's going to get liquidated and stuff. It's all FUD, right? Last time we saw it when Bitcoin bumped down all the way to 19,000, everyone says get liquidated. He said, no, we don't have to sell anything until 3,000, in which case we can restructure. So he's set it up to where he's not going to feel pressure. He knows we're going to see this liquidity. So it's good. So are we at a bottom? I don't know, but I'm buying here. I'm going to continue to buy. So wherever we're at, because my thesis is we're going to 1 million. And I think, Michael Saylor's target is 13 million. Now, this was interesting. This was the Stripe news today. For years, we've been talking kind of the holy grail of blockchain, because blockchain is not the fastest database, right? It's the best. It's the most secure. It's the most decentralized, all those things, the most immutable, permissionless, all those great things. But it is not the fastest, right? And they always said, to run like credit card things, they needed to be about 250,000 transactions per second. And to put in perspective, Bitcoin's only like 4 transactions a second, and Ethereum's only like 25, right? But obviously blockchains like Sui, blockchains like Solana and stuff are actually going to, they're actually, close to that level, at least in theory in some tests. So I don't know. I don't think they're running that much on a consistent basis, but at least it's theoretically possible. Stripe came out today and said the blockchains may need 1 billion transactions per second to support an AI agent driven future. So, wow, that hit me. Listen, I come from the early days of the internet, when the main argument against the internet, why it was not going to work, the main argument against the internet was the fact that the bandwidth was so slow, right? It used to take us all night in the beginning to download a song. And I know a lot of people on this app are a lot younger, and they never bought a CD or a record or a tape or anything like that. They just streamed their music and videos. It wasn't even possible back then. We were literally going over phone lines and T1 lines and things like that. Now, of course, it's almost instant, but that was the main reason everyone said why the internet wasn't going to work. And so now this is just crazy to think about. Now they're raising the bar to 1 billion transactions per second. So I figure people get there, right? like I say, we're already at about 1 million, close to 1 million, at least theoretically, at least in tests. So, but anyway, that's crazy to think about. That's where this thing could go. And listen, Bitcoin, crypto is stable coins. That is going to be the money of AI, because AI is going to have to transact, and they're sure as hell not going to do it by wire transfer or by a check, right? Yeah, Gooch Match said Napster. Napster, man, used to be the first you could get free music. And yeah, and it literally, though, when it first came out, it'd take hours and hours to download a kind of a file sharing deal. Napster was the beginning of what we have today as streaming, right? Couple more things and we'll check the market and we'll call it a day. But basically, as this comes out, the Senate, oh, no, didn't come up. Basically, what was supposed to be is the Senate is going to meet on the Clarity Act at 2:30. That's a big thing. That's a big thing that has to happen. The White House, Trump set a 3-1 March 1st deadline for the Clarity Act, and they're meeting today. We'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Last but not least, Trump family-backed BTC miner American Bitcoin Corp reported a $59 million quarter fourth loss. Now, they're one of the more efficient miners out there, right? They are publicly traded. I haven't dived into it, but my thought is they're probably holding most of the Bitcoin they mine, and their loss, a lot of it probably has to do with Bitcoin going down. So interesting. We'll look into it, but nonetheless, this was reported today. They lost $59 million in their last quarter as they get cranking up. So you can look into more of that. They are publicly traded, so you can look at the research and whatnot. But anyway, thought it was interesting. Let's jump back, take a quick look at where the markets are. Appreciate everyone joining me live today. You can also recording if you like. Let's see where we're at. Let's do a quick shot. You're certainly welcome if you're on X, jumping over there and join us on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show. That's been going on for 4 years now. And come up and speak your piece. We have some co-hosts and some regular speakers, so you're not just hearing my take on that. But yeah, NASDAQ now down 0.75, 0.79 in the negative. The Dow is positive 0.29, and we're down about a third of a point on the S&P. So a little pullback from the huge 1% plus day yesterday. We'll start back at Bitcoin. Bitcoin is at 67, so it couldn't quite hold that. Let's look at the hour. Look since we started. Yeah, this is since we started the show. Had that pump up to 68, dropped down a little, and now we're back up. That's what's happened since we've been talking. So still up 1% for the day, still way off the 62,000 we were a couple of days ago. Ethereum, 2,051. Like they were holding above the 2,000. XRP, $1.43. Even for the day right now, but way better than the $1.13 they hit. And the dollar, I think they hit like $1.20 a couple of days ago. Solana is my favorite L1, my largest holding right now. 70 anyway, at 80. Someone joining us live. Like you say, welcome. If you're on X, come join us on the GM Bitcoin Morning Show. We'll be here tomorrow to kind of close. And once again, appreciate everybody, and we'll see everyone tomorrow. Have a great day.